John Riggins is with us to talk about a brand new show coming up on the Sportsman Channel. How cool is this? Riggo on the Range. And Riggo, thanks very much for coming on the program.
Well, thank you, Cam. It's good to be here.
Absolutely. All right, so let's talk about the new show here. I mean, I've been a fan of yours on the radio for a number of years. Now I get to watch on TV.
Yes, you will. I'll be doing everything I never used to do. I'll be out there roaming the field and raging the flood and just having a lot of fun, I think.
That sounds awesome. Is this sort of your? I mean, you've had a lot of dream jobs, but to get a chance to travel around the country, around the world, going hunting and shooting with friends, and I mean, it really sounds like just an incredible time.
You know, you said the key word, really, and it's funny that you articulated it that way, but you said dream job. Well, this is the dream. When I was a kid, I was always fascinated with the Native Americans and, with the mountain men and basically people living off the land. Now, we're not going to quite go that far. It's not going to be a survival type of a show. But at the same time, I really enjoy the outdoors. I love being in the woods, wherever it may be, on the prairie, on a creek bank or on the river bank. It really doesn't make any difference. So this really, for me, is kind of like after 40 years of football, I really like the outdoors. And football was fine, but now, as you just said, you get to go with family, friends, and a few of the celebrities that I know to go out and what kind of game you're going to be after, and then to come back at the end of the day. And, because I like to cook as well, and there's going to be a cooking segment to this show.
Oh, nice.
And we're going to really focus on, and that'll be a pretty big focus on the show, actually. I mean, certainly we'll be out in the field a lot as well, but I do love to cook, and we've done about 3 shows right now. But I think it's all about the table for me. I'm not a trophy hunter per se, but I don't want to say I'm a meat hunter. That's got a bad connotation, but I really like to provide, wild game for my family and my friends, because I think personally that you can't buy it in a store, A, and B, even if you could, the price tag is astronomical. So, and to me, it's just a perfect combination of really using all the resources for what they were intended.
Absolutely. And I got to tell you, I mean, as a guy who enjoys eating, I think it's great to actually see the increased focus on not just hunting, but what we do with the game that we take. I talked with Georgia Pellegrino, who wrote a book called Girl Hunter a couple of weeks ago. And it's all about her going out in the field and then bringing it back into the kitchen as well. And, when we learn where our food comes from, I think we're all better off, don't you?
Well, exactly. I mean, there's a tremendous irony here. And I don't want to try and get too deep because then I'll get lost. But let me offer this, that when you actually think about beef and poultry and whatever domestic that we get from the farm, if you really think about that whole process and the whole idea behind it, it's a little macabre, actually. Going out into the field, wherever it may be, or into the woods and killing a deer or shooting a brace of pheasants or whatever that may be, that's the real thing. I mean, that's kind of the way it was all intended years ago before Henry Ford invented the Model T and we got assembly lines and all this stuff. So, I mean, it's about as authentic as you can get, and for me, that has always been just a great feeling of satisfaction, is bringing something home and putting it on the table and being able to eat it and enjoy it to its fullest. And that's what I keep emphasizing. And I think wild game is as fine a fare as there is. Sure, dry-aged beef it's certainly a great dish, and I'm not going to knock beef or anything like that. I like it as much as the next guy.
Right.
But you take moose, elk, whatever, you take another four-legged critter, and I'm telling you, it offers its own flavor and its own uniqueness. And to me, I mean, it's one of these one night and one of those the next night. That's just excellent eating, I think.
No, listen, I really appreciate you spending a couple of minutes with us. Now, the show is going to debut in January, so you're filming this right now?
Yep, we've got about 3 shows, maybe 4 in the can. I'm not 100% sure there. We'll be on the Sportsman Channel first quarter of 2013, so I'm going to guess first week in January. We've got a Saturday morning slot sometime between 8 a.m. and 12 p.m., and, right now it's just a matter of me getting to, select who I get to, who I pick to go with me on a hunt and then go out and make something happen. We've got a quail hunt, a turkey hunt, and a wild hog hunt down in Texas. And we're, like I said, I've had an unbelievable time on all these things. And I'm not going to, pretend that I'm, the big hunter here. I'm not. But at the same time, I grew up very early on in life shooting. and hunted pheasants and quail. And I've been to Africa once for big game, once for birds, and I've been to Alaska, on a bear hunt. So I've experienced this. I'm, not nearly as experienced as a lot of guys. So there's a lot of learning involved in this for me. But a lot of it, once you get out there and you've been around as long as I have, a lot of it's instinctual as well.
Well, absolutely. Hey, listen, you have fun doing this, and if you have not filled out your dance card, just let me know if you need me to show up for any one of these hunts.
Cam, you just went to the front of the line.
John Riggins, NFL Hall of Famer, one of the funniest and brightest guys I know. And again, the show Riggo on the Range starts first quarter of 2013 on Sportsman Channel. John, please come back anytime. Love to have you.
Cam, I will do that. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you, sir. John Riggins joined us here on Cam & Company.